What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Colchester 0, Tottenham 3 in our second pre-season game. So I'm with Dave, Irish HOTSPUR. Dave, how you doing? All smiles after that performance.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. And look, I know people are going to say it's only pre-season. I couldn't care less. Tottenham are back. We're back to winning ways. That's all that matters.
100%. And look, let's take it bit by bit, because obviously in the first half we had a dynamic front three of Heung-min Son, Steven Bergwijn, and Lucas Moura. You had Skippy, Dele Alli, and Harry Winks just behind, and then obviously you had the defence. How do you assess that first half performance, and how much can you actually read into it?
Look, first half performance. I want to big up Lucas, Bergwijn. Even Dele Alli, like, you know, he was getting on the ball. He looked better than what he did against Leyton Orient. He was trying things, you know, and he was productive going forward. A couple of sloppy passes from Dele Alli, but I have to say on the whole, very good. Lucas Moura now is one I really do want to talk about, and then we'll get on to Bergwijn. But Lucas Moura, Ben, I don't know whether you've noticed this or not, but even though he starts off on the right, he drops into the middle an awful lot and picks up the ball and creates a problem, which means our right back is bombing on and taking the right-hand side. And our goal that we scored today, the goal that Bergwijn in the end squared to Son, that was exact replica of the goal against Leyton Orient. The ball inside, Lucas Moura, first time pass, puts him away. Absolutely brilliant. And I think that's something we can definitely take from the pre-season. It's looking like a little tactic where Lucas Moura is starting out on the right, but he's coming in and around the middle, picking up the ball and creating problems, which is good, because we've seen with Lucas, hasn't really worked out from playing out wide for Tottenham, but when he's in and around the middle, he's dangerous. He can go left, he can go right, and he picks up a lot 100%. Of free kicks, which is brilliant. Bergwijn, Ben. Now, I actually thought he had a decent enough game today. He looked better. Yeah. I have one question I want to ask you, though. When he squared that to Sonny, is that just the exact same
question for you? I had the exact same question for you, but go on, carry on.
Is it unselfish play, or is it a lack of confidence?
Well, you know, it can actually be described as both. It can be described as both, because I was doing a watch along with Bob, and our first reactions to that was lack of confidence, because I thought any other player in that position, I thought would have slotted that ball in the bottom corner. I felt because of Bergwijn, because of what we've been seeing from him last season, I straight away went to lack of confidence. But if you see it again, he's always looking to his right-hand side. He's always looking for that run for where Sonny is. So, on reflection, I actually think it's a smart bit of play from Steven Bergwijn. But it can be read in both ways, to be honest. I mean, what were your feelings on it?
I think a lack of confidence, to be honest. I think, look, even if you're Dane Scarlett, I think you're Harry Kane, your son, even Dele Alli, I don't think you're passing that. You're slotting that into the bottom corner. I do think maybe it is a lack of confidence. I would have liked to seen him attempt it. I would have liked to seen him go for it. But look, at the end of the day, we got to go from it. I'm not complaining. And like you said, it could easily be interpreted as just unselfish. Like you said, like when I looked at the replay, I did see him looking to the right, looking for that pass. So look, it's a hard one to take from it. Me personally, I think maybe just a small bit lack of confidence. But a very positive from Bergwijn today. Positive. Look, I want to talk a bit about Ollie Skipp. I think he was absolutely brilliant.
Please do. Absolute baller. He's an absolute baller. And I mean, that ball over the top, I think it was to Steven Bergwijn, was it? Or to Lucas Moura? I can't remember which one it was. What a ball that was.
Oh, honestly, you want to hear the sound I made on the watch along, Ben? It was ridiculous. As soon as I seen it, straight to the foot, I just sitting there. I'm like, well, I know what I'm watching on Pornhub later on. You know what I mean? That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But not only that, what I really like about this kid is he has a unique way of being able to put pressure on a player without giving away the foul. I've seen too many times over the course of the last few seasons where players are getting tight up someone's hole and then fouling them, bundling them over. Ollie Skipp doesn't do that. He's very, very good. And he was better on the ball than what Harry Winks was today. Very good.
I was about to ask you, Dave. Did Ollie Skipp show up Harry Winks today?
100%. But look, deep down, we knew this was going to happen. Look, Skipp, with Winks, we spoke about earlier. I don't want to really get too much into it. Everyone knows our thoughts. But with Winks, he's just not going to cut it. And you can see why we were talking about him being transfer listed earlier on today in the update. Great update, by the way. Everyone go back and check it out. But, no, look, Skip showed him up today. But we were all talking about it, during last season. Every single one of us were sitting there saying, let's get Skip back, man. I wish we didn't loan him out from January onwards. I wish we would have called him back. We need him. And I think, personally, we could have a very, very good relationship of Skip and Højbjerg in there, right? You can have them doing the dogged work, doing the mopping up, spraying the ball side to side, keeping a hold of the ball. And which means you can throw in an Ndombele, a Lo Celso, or even a Dele Alli and give them a free role in midfield because these guys will get through the work. And both of them can go forward. We've seen that with Skip at Norwich. We've seen it with Højbjerg with Denmark. So then they can also communicate and they can say, like they used to do in the old days, one sits deep and one goes. Just give your partner a shout. Who's going? So it's looking very good. And with Pochettino under Prime Poch, we were starting with an Ndombele and a Wanyama, very, very defensive in games sometimes. And sometimes he'd hook Wanyama off and bring on someone a bit more attacking. So we can definitely go back to that sort of style because it is looking like Nuno will be playing a 4 at the back. Whatever way he sets up from that onwards, that'll be interesting. But he will be playing a 4 at the back. And I just think Skip will partner Højbjerg brilliantly in there. And Skip has that nastiness I was talking about earlier then. That desire, that hunger to want to do better, to win the ball. And it's I think that'll stand him in good stead.
Yeah, I completely agree. But we have to talk about Harry Winks because there were just some really shocking moments in there from Harry Winks. There was that one moment where he just nutmegged himself and completely lost the ball. I mean, there were a couple of moments in there that were just tragic from him. But to be fair to him, I do think he kind of grew as the game did go on. I thought the early exchanges of him were terrible. But how did you kind of assess his game?
I'll be honest with you, I thought it was awful. I thought it was awful. Look, I counted 3 times he passed forward, 3 times didn't make the man. The first one, he must have thought Son was the corner flag. He just, there was no one. He passed it where there was nobody. And for me, look, everyone knows I just don't feel confident with him. He's not strong enough in midfield. He doesn't have he doesn't possess the physicality, which means he gets his pocket picked easy and he struggles to beat players. That's why you see him passing sideways and backwards and shirking responsibility. And for me, he's not going to make it. Skip's come in and he's upshowed him. And Skip's career is only going to go one way, and that's upwards. And Harry Winks, look, unless he can adapt something and find something to add to his game, I think he's in huge trouble. I do think he was very poor today. Very, very poor. I'll be honest. I was disappointed because he's a player with a point to prove. Look, I know people are going to say, oh, you just hate Winks. It's not that. It's just, I just don't think the guy's going to make it. And look, I hope he can. I just don't think he will. That's my gut feeling.
I agree with you. I mean, I kind of agree with you. I know I said what I said in terms of I think there is a player in there, which I still do think there's a player in there. But if he's ever going to realise that at Tottenham is another question. And I think he might need a move maybe to a Villa or a Southampton to kind of regenerate his career. But obviously there's one player who we really need to talk about. 2 assists and a goal, Heung-min Son. I mean, it's just so good to have him back in the team, isn't it?
I was absolutely delighted to see him. It was a breath of fresh air. He brought that clinicalness that we kind of probably lacked a bit last week. He brought that energy, buzzing around, 1-2s, running in behind, making different runs. I was delighted for him to get his goal. But that ball across for Dele Alli, straight onto the chest, just chested in. Beautiful ball. Beautiful ball. So many times we've seen that go straight into the keeper's hands or be overhit. It was perfect. What more do you want from Sonny? Absolutely brilliant. And then the ball in from the corner, Lucas Moura. I love that sort of goal. He gets across his man, across the front, first man to it, bullet header. I love it, especially from a small guy. That's what you need to do at corners. Attack balls with intensity and belief, and you will get your reward. And that's what Lucas Moura done. I love it.
I mean, he's got such a big leap for such a small man. It's unbelievable what Lucas Moura does on a football pitch sometimes. But in terms of the rest of the game, we saw a lot of youngsters come on. Which youngsters kind of impressed for you today?
Look, I was happy enough for Harvey White. Dane Scarlett again. I want to say, even though the goal was offside, what a finish. This kid's 17. This kid's 17. Takes it first time. My God. It's unbelievable stuff. But then, not only that, like back defensively, it shows he was alert. You know, that chance where he got the diving header, put it out for another corner, he stayed alert there. But he's just silky. He's composed. He gets on the ball, takes a nice touch. He's just everything you want in a 17-year-old prospering. And I really hope it continues. My boy Troy Parrott didn't do too bad. You know, he's okay. On Troy Parrott, I meant to say, I was a bit raging with myself because I didn't mention this against Leyton Orient. But for me, when he played for Ireland and he got his 2 goals, he's more moved out to the right-hand side now. And look, he's not a striker. He wants the ball to his feet. He's not clever enough to make the runs that Scarlett makes. And you either have that or you don't. It's not really something you can really learn. And he's not strong enough to hold up the ball in central areas. But with Ireland, he comes in off the right. He gets in when this cross is put in from the left-hand side. He gets in back post. You know, he can pick up the ball and he can dribble. And for me, look, maybe I think that could be a position where Tottenham could maybe look in the future to playing in maybe off the right-hand side of a front three. Look, hopefully the future's bright there. And Niall John, again, I have to say, I love that little bit of trickery and then the positive to try to get the shot off as well. He's a player I think Nuno has his eye on, you know. You look at your man, Gibbs White, that came through at Wolves. He's not afraid to bring through a young midfielder and he will play him. And if John just keeps progressing, he's strong, he's powerful, he's nimble as well, quick feet on him. I think we'll see a lot more of this guy as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of cases like that at Wolves. You know, you got the kid in defence, Max Kilman. You've got the fullback, Ait Nouri. You got the lad that you were just talking about as well. So he's got previous for bringing through kids from the academy. And what a moment to come to Tottenham when we have all these kids coming through all at the same time. So, I mean, it's absolutely happy days. And on Troy Parrott, I actually think that's the most impressed with I've seen him in a Spurs shirt. That's the most impressed I've been with him playing for Tottenham so far. And I think he got the ball today. He showed a bit of nice trickery with his feet, getting past a few men, albeit didn't get a shot off on goal. But I think he looked good today. And like I said, Dane Scarlett, he's a diamond, man. He's an absolute diamond. And I cannot wait to see what the future holds for him. But good to see, obviously, after long layoffs, Ollie Skip and Japhet Tanganga coming back in the side. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's all happy days at Tottenham today. 3-0 win against Colchester. We'll be back next week for our next pre-season against MK Dons. Thank you, David, for coming on with me yet again. Everyone, go and subscribe to the Irish Hotspur. Any closing words from you, Dave?
Nah, look, you know, attackingly going forward, brilliant. Defensively, a bit worrying, but we'll get that sorted out. Tottenham are back, baby. Bring on the new season. Come on, you Spurs. In Nuno we trust.
All right, come on, you Spurs.
Come on.